Alright, crew, we're heading to planet side. Go to the airlock. Alright, get in. Reaching atmosphere, descending. Approaching Velcro. What do you want to drop? Main base or the tent?
Drop in the tent.
Circling around, copy. Pop out.
Looks like it's calmed down since the last time I was here.
Yeah, they looted the entire place. The
Oh,
rebels
that
here.
sucks.
Definitely tents though. I like them more. You'll sleep in this tent for now.
It doesn't look too bad.
I think someone's nearby. Hold on. Guns on the ready.
You hear that?
Did we bring a piano here?
There's a piano in the shed over there. Oh, it's just you.
Of course.
Oh, hey.
How's it been going? Anyone come here recently? How many people have you killed? 'Cause you said not really. Ah, okay. Any rebels? There should have been, I assume. Looks like we really did drive most of them out. Alright, Avery. So, have you decided on a tent you're gonna stay in? A tent. Maybe we can probably let you stay in the black tent here. It's for like higher rank people. Or we're gonna have beds up at the main base over there, to the north. I just want everyone to walk around, make sure no one's actually watching us.
Alright,
Okay, Havy.
I'll go this way.
Now we get into the very important question. Housing. Of course. Of course. As soon as it turns night, it rains. Okay, I want everyone to sit down. So something I've been looking into recently is meditation. I know you're familiar with the Havy, but the others aren't as much. You don't have to be using the Force to understand meditation. It also works for droids. So, do any of you want to learn about it?
Eh,
Doesn't really seem like something I'd be into.
yeah,
Helps
same
you
here.
improve yourself in combat if you keep yourself calm.
I'm usually
Many benefits to
calm.
meditation. Well, it can stop you from making rash decisions. I'll go over it anyways, because we're here.
Alright. Nothing better to
So
do.
what you want to do is basically empty your mind and just listen to your environment. The rain is actually really convenient, considering that. You can hear the crackling of the fire, hear the life in the world.
Alright.
You can hear it, right? All of it?
Yep.
Now pay attention to any movements you make, even if you're just slightly moving the dirt. You can feel your impact on this world. Even just you, a small figure in this giant galaxy, have made an imprint on this world even by just stepping on it. And that might not heal, or it might. By just being here, you will impact the outcome of this planet. And now next part I want to go over is going over your failures and previous successes in battle. Dax, what's your most important memory with us, the group?
I'd say time we took Boreas. We all really worked together on that one.
And what did go wrong in that battle?
Troopers there were immensely powerful. We really underestimated their strength. But we pulled through in the end.
Now think of your worst memory. Excluding Psyche.
I'd say my worst memory not involving him would be right here. And I'd say this is even worse than Psyche.
What is that?
When I killed that informant, it sent our whole operation spiraling out of control and led to a bloodbath.
I actually thought your worst memory would be probably the time Leon betrayed us. Considering he was your squad mate and everything.
True.
Reflect on what went wrong other than just you shooting the informant in that mission. Tell me how the entirety of it went from your ideas.
Well, I shot the informant before... Yeah, I shot the informant because I believed that we couldn't get anything else out of him. I didn't realize that every Imperial agency on the planet was on this planet gunning for him. And I didn't realize that killing him right in front of an ISB officer. It was an ISB officer I was killing him in front of. It all went wrong when we tried to, he had us all fooled to the point where he actually tricked us into falling into his trap when it wasn't even meant for us. And I can't imagine the Imperials up there were very happy with us killing what they thought was their only chance. I think if I never did what I did, the Empire wouldn't have turned on us that day.
True. But one thing you need to look for is how your mission with Nexus went. The failure brought about another turn of success with him. Nexus now trusts you more, and you have the Senator in your pocket.
Of course.
Not all failures are supposed to just be dwelled upon because they're failures. One failure I do want you to dwell on is Leon. What went wrong there? Because that failure you think was not really because you were redeemed in the end. A true failure would be the Leon battle. What happened?
I made, let's see, Leon was accused of betraying us. And I unfortunately did not know the full story when he was brought before me. Everyone was telling me he was the traitor, including the real culprit, HK, who was the one who shot him first. Leon was in a crippled state. And he was, I tried to justify keeping him alive because I wanted to believe that something just in me told me that it wasn't him. He didn't do it. But even Leon himself, he started urging me along with everyone else, just saying, make a decision. Don't think, just make a decision. And I did. Leon died. Yes. Leon died. Of course. He stayed, well, I said, the Leon I knew died. What came about afterwards was a shell of his former self, a broken husk of a man.
More man than machine.
Of course.
You know what's weird?
What?
I looked at his body. Why was he a genetic clone?
A genetic clone of what?
Himself. That wasn't him.
Wait.
I was wondering if you knew about that. He
I
had all
didn't
of his
know about
memories.
that.
So, the real Leon's probably with Coda still. Or he might have been swapped out.
That son of a bitch.
That
Well,
would make sense in why he actually survived his, execution.
of course.
Let's go past that, though.
Yeah.
What happened after?
Well, the computer turned on us. I thought it was because of the Sith, but I mean, in retrospect, I thought it was because the computer betrayed us along with Leon, but in reality, it was my own mistake that made him turn hostile, made him believe we were the traitors.
Mm-hmm. And what happened then?
Then I didn't pick up on, I didn't remember, I just assumed that none of what the computer was saying was true. I didn't trust that you had programmed it well. I assumed it had been malfunctioned, so I ordered everyone to try everything to kill it.
Computer was programmed with several hundred contingencies. You activate his mutiny contingency, which is use any assets not being used by the base to actually kill anyone who does not lay down their arms and get in the ground.
Yeah, well, I
But
suppose.
so that no one could actually get out of the base and reveal any information about any of the mercenary members.
Well, as much as I want to say that was all misunderstanding, I did know he wanted us to surrender, but you remember the first time when A1 tried to interrogate me. I can get a little stubborn when people try to, people I don't trust try to take authority over me. A little too stubborn.
Mm-hmm. And what was the consequence for your rash decision?
A massive battle, the loss of a friend, and a huge increase in tension between the group overall.
Which turned into full-on retaliation versus the computer. Which
Yeah.
he was corrupted, yes. Agents were actually infiltrating the core of the computer, which is amazing considering that none of you know where it is, but they did. someone was basically controlling him as a partial puppet.
I assume the Sith, right?
Yes.
Of course.
Technicians. Bastards.
And then after we finally fixed it, after his original body was finally destroyed by that HK unit, that explains how they got it back and used it for their own purposes again.
The HK computer is a fascinating thing. I've been looking through his data, because his body was retired, remember?
Yeah.
His head was intact, as it was meant to be. And that head contains so much Jedi information, it's extremely fascinating. All the way from lost forms, to locations of Jedi, to the location of archives, to everything. That thing is a goldmine of information, and it's going to take years to go through. That thing has about 3,000 years of information in history. Maybe 4,000 or 5,000.
Wait. So this thing was basically a whole Jedi archive?
Yes. Also was a class. It was so built perfectly. I don't know who built it. But whoever it did, or whatever group did, made it virtually indestructible. You'd have to be extremely powerful with a lightsaber.
Kodo always told me just destroying the temple library wouldn't be enough to snuff out the Jedi. I didn't know what he meant at the time, but I guess
Doubt he knew
stuff
about
like
the
this.
droid.
Yeah,
That
I
droid
doubt he
was
did either.
secret. It was assigned
Maybe.
to the Mythic out of per Melissa's request, apparently. I think Mullis had an intuition about Order 66 happening, because he's still alive.
Yeah, so did Koda.
The droid
That's why we're
banks,
all alive.
The droid banks of that thing indicate that Mullis left it here. And this planet was mostly abandoned for years, so only by a very technologically inept society who don't come up here because they fear the starships and everything. And because of that, they were perfectly capable of just hiding it up here for ages.
Oh.
Anyways, so anytime you have to do a critical decision, think back to your worst memory and think to your best. What you want to do is see what went right and what went wrong. Do not do rash decisions. And also another thing to do is anytime in combat you fall or fight and you win, I want you to remember those and then recall them later. This also works for, this is a form of droid meditation. It's virtually just reviewing your battle footage, but just figuring out what you went wrong with, what didn't you know, and then applying it all into the next combat situation. It improves combat effectiveness of droids by like 22%, I believe. Bishop, I want you to tell your worst and best memory with the crew. I've now not been here long.
I mean, I haven't
So I just want
really
to know,
had a bad memory here.
Then tell us one from your past.
From my past? When my
Yes.
crew betrayed me and left me for dead.
What
Literally.
was your crew affiliated with?
They were, independent. It was just the 6 of us. We would just do odd
Who were
jobs.
they hired by?
I mean, the highest bidder. Anyone.
That's not what I know.
I mean,
Look,
it was years ago. We were hired by the Republic sometimes, the Separatists, various other
your
neutral
crewmen
factions.
are Knight,
Eh,
Rook,
yeah.
King, Queen, right?
Yeah.
And Pawn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're part of them. You're
Yeah.
just CIS mainly, right?
I mean, we lean towards the CAS more. I worked for
CIS
them.
Reporter, yes.
I was hired by them when I went solo after they left me for dead, most of the time. Because the
Yeah, that's
Republic
for
didn't hire me.
decent.
Yeah.
I think they were less corrupt than the Republic, but I think the Empire is better than both sides combined.
Agreed.
The Empire was a thing coming to be. It needed to be done. After the Rusan Reformation, it was only a matter of time before a galactic war broke out.
Mm.
My parents told me about this. They felt always that there would be a galactic war in the future. I don't know, but they were completely right. They said two sides. And the Republic would come out on top, but it would be changed. I don't know if they're like fortune tellers or whatever. Probably they were force sensitive like me, I don't know. They never told me about my force sensitivity.
Huh.
Probably to hide it. Okay, well, I can't really help you with that. I'll come back to you later. I'm gonna talk to HK about this tactic as well. Because for him, he's went through a lot of traumatizing stuff. And to come to peace with himself like that, that'd be great. AP. What is your best memory with the crew? Other than that. And then we'll go with the reuniting. And what was your worst memory other than Darth Vader? 'Cause I know that was probably horrible. You're the only Inquisitor who actually got away. By the way, every other Inquisitor who's tried to break away has been executed. I bet you didn't... I bet they didn't really even accept you, right? Were you just like in prison most of the time? That's why you're still alive then. Because you never truly became an Inquisitorius. Which still confuses me in why you were sent to take us out. Maybe it was a test? Well, what's your best memory? What's your worst memory other than this? The Darth Vader incident. What was your best, what was your worst memory other than Darth Vader? I said with the crew, not Order 66. I know. I know a moment. Your worst moment could have when you fully embraced the dark side and ran. What caused you to fall other than fighting the fake boss? Dax said you kept on running into people, right? Dax? Dax?
Yeah. The Sith's warriors, of course, and their assassin
Just
droids.
acolytes.
Yeah. They kept beating you, unless you used the dark side against them. They tricked you into thinking that the dark side was the only way to defeat the Sith, all while trying to get you to join them.
It didn't work out because Darth Vader got to you first. But I want you to remember, it's like I go through training with you. You always want to meditate on your failures and what you can do to improve it so it never happens again. You're stronger after all these incidents. You're a much better person. But you still have to keep yourself in check. Just because you're a good person and you're doing fine right now, doesn't mean you cannot lose your faith and go to something else later on. Just remember that. I want you all to think of what happened today. And just give it 5 minutes before we begin. I'll brief you in 5.
Alright.
Just listen to music, do not speak. Dax, come with me.
Yeah.